Welcome everybody. I'm gonna give everybody a few seconds to start filing in. Got a good number of people on the webinar today, so I see them joining and filing into the viewing room now. Give it a few seconds before we begin. All right, guys. Looks like the number has held steady here for a few minutes. Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock Eastern time. It is Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. My name is Josh. You are tuned in and live to the Meridian Personnel Management Kiosk info session and webinar extraordinaire. If this is your first time joining us, congratulations for making it here. We're happy to have you. Happy to have you. Whether you're a current customer or you're a potential, you're sitting on the edge of the fence, we're so glad to have you with us today. If this is your first time joining, of course, you know we're going to go through a little bit of the details of the product, the software, and then we'll have a quick Q&A question and answer session at the end of this webinar. So without further ado, my name's Josh, and we're going to start it on. All right. So I mentioned Personnel Management Kiosk. For those of you who have one, know what this is. Sit back and relax. For those of you who don't, let's talk about it. Personnel Management Kiosk. It is a device that is designed to take temperatures, but not just that. It does so much more. Pictured here on your screen, you get a picture of the device. Pretty plain to see. This is a stand. This is a pedestal that it mounts to. Up here at the top half of the device, I'll use this as a little better image. Top half of the device, we have a thermal imager and a forward-facing camera, as well as a beautiful LED display. The method to using this device is you would have an individual walk up to it and scan in. It does support facial recognition, or if you don't want to keep a database of people's faces, you can just have it choose to record events as an individual walks up to the device, has their temperature taken, a temperature scanned, and a picture and timestamp recorded of that event. A couple different options for the personnel management kiosk. So hardware configurations, we're talking about how the hardware is set up, how it looks. Pedestal mount, this is about your average height. I'm 6 feet tall. The top of the unit comes up just below my chin to the top of this thermal sensor up here, average 6 foot male. We do have a pedestal with an LED. The LED is just a little added visual bonus. It's an indicator light that can be pass-fail for temperature, show a successful scan, or you can actually turn off the color indicators if privacy is a concern, and it will only illuminate a monochrome white light upon any activity or interfacing with the device. Child height does have a child height. We do have a child height kiosk. It's considerably shorter than the adult height. Perfect for elementary schools, any other places of learning where you got young children or just people who are maybe vertically challenged, not as quite as tall as some of the rest of us here. We'll note on the child height, got great feedback from several users who are in the medical field, specifically elderly care, nursing homes, senior centers, or any place where mobility scooters and wheelchairs are the primary form of transportation for patients and or visitors. The child height one seems to be about perfect height for someone in a mobility scooter or wheelchair to wheel right up to the device, and with minimal adjustment and alignment, they're able to scan in, have their temperature taken, and that event recorded. Wall mounting, we do have a wall mountable unit, a mountable unit. I can never say that word right. So we do have the unit that's available for you to mount on a wall if a tight-fitting form factor is something that you're looking for to continue safe, hands-free operation, etc. Or if you need a countertop model, maybe this is going to live up in front for reception. Maybe this is going to travel around your office, your environment, or you just don't want a big 45-pound, 35-pound stand out there out front, in front of your lobby, you can get the countertop model. So I mentioned that the device takes temperatures, scans, records pictures, records events in real time as they occur, which is great. It's great. You have one device, you can walk up to it, you can unscrew the head unit and pop a USB key in there. No, that's not great. You have 10 of these devices. Even if you have one of these devices, no one wants to go around to each individual unit and have to change settings and pull pass records and verify scans and temperatures 10 times every single day, 5 days a week, maybe your 24-hour production facility. That's just not going to cut it. And I agree. So that's where the MzeroManage software, the MzeroManage platform comes into play. It is designed to interface with the PMK. It allows you to have one centralized location to get scans from. It allows you to have one centralized location to upload your entire employee database if you are using facial recognition. And it's also part of the interfacing for the backend to establish and initiate email alerts and notifications. If you have a high temperature entry or an attempted entry of a stranger, an email alert can be sent to subscribed users to allow instantaneous notification of a high temperature above a threshold that you, as the end user, can actually set. Let's see. There we go. So some features and capabilities of MzeroManage. So I know I've said a lot of stuff out here, so just following the list here. It does give you that centralized location to have a list of employees if you're using the facial recognition feature. You do have the ability to log the temperatures, both in a graphical user interface format where you can have a nice little neat form with pictures and timestamps and sort by temperature, pass, fail, type in a specific employee identification number, a name, an email address, etc. Also the ability to export those reports to a CSV file. You get a little bit more information, or like I like to refer to as raw data. With that raw data, that raw exported data from your scans and individuals interfacing with the device, you could export that. And then for all my Excel junkies and my database wizards out there, as well as I know, once you have that raw data, it's sky's the limit. You can process that. You can make reports. You can keep a record for auditing, etc. That data set is available for download and export, as well as a nice, beautiful graphical user interface for you to interact with. I mentioned the alerts, so getting the email alerts and setting those up. Having a live view, being able to view scans in real time as they are taken at the reader. Checking to see when the last time a kiosk was online, when it had a heartbeat, when it phoned home to the server. Changing settings on the device. Some Android settings are not available. However, you can change the volume of the device, having it auto relaunch the application should there be a power outage or a brownout that might cause electrical components to misbehave, as they tend to want to do during electrical storms and other electricity events. As well as, like I mentioned with the dashboard, being able to see scans in real times, being able to group the kiosks together. Let's say you have, you make chicken feed or you make dog food. That's your realm, that's your company, and you've got 3 plants. Well, you don't need someone in Ohio worrying about someone in Pomona, California's temperature. If you do, we can make that happen. If you don't, you can group your kiosks. So Josh's Dog Food Company, Inc. can have a group of 3 kiosks in North Carolina, another 2 kiosks in my Pomona, California factory, and then let's say I got 4 kiosks in my home office in Ohio. You can keep them separated and you can assign permissions to additional users. So my Ohio people are only concerned with their Ohio data set. My North Carolina HR and auditors are only concerned with theirs, and so on and so forth. And then one of the last things on this features and capabilities list is ability to turn off the storing of a local device record. So if you're currently a standalone PMK user, you might be very much aware of removing the head unit, placing your USB drive in, entering your password on the device. Have I bored you yet? But there's a lot of interaction with it, and that device record is kept locally on the device. Now, if that's a privacy concern, if that's a theft concern, if you're afraid someone's going to come and lug a 40-pound kiosk out the front door, I understand. I hope that never is the case for anyone. Uh, but you are able to have a feature with MzeroManage online upon a successful scan, upon a user scanning into the device. That record is immediately uploaded to your cloud dashboard and database and then is removed from the local device. So if you're worried about having Tim's scan of 98.7 degrees at 11 p.m., etc., no worries. You can have it be cloud only. So I mentioned before about being a facial scanner, Face ID, facial recognition. You can use that out of the box. There's nothing stopping you from using this out of the box with the kiosk itself. For my MzeroManage users, for my people with multiple locations, multiple, say hundreds of employees, doing a bulk upload might be your best bet. And a lot of the things I'm going to cover here in the employee image requirements, I'll also refer to the bulk upload requirements as well. So if you're doing a bulk upload, preparing the files for the data set is crucial. One of the biggest things I see on the support side is miszipping of a file. If you have all your photos in a folder, that's perfectly fine. Make sure you do not zip the folder up. A lot of times we'll see customers have zipped the folder up. So if you're looking at it from a top-down perspective, you'll see images.zip. Within that will be another folder. That's a common point of failure on these bulk uploads. If you were to double click on your zip file to extract it, we shouldn't see an individual folder. We should see 100 photos, one for every employee. So a big thing is we need a zipped flat folder structure for importing via bulk. The photographs supported, JPEG or PNG, portable network graphic. If you're doing the bulk upload, the name of the JPEG file must be the same numerical value as the employee ID or the personnel ID, or sometimes referred to as the VIP ID. The VIP ID, employee ID, personnel ID, that numerical value must match and must precede the file extension. So if this guy right here is 1999.png.png, so 1999, and I put his name in here as, Timmy McTims, his personnel ID better be 1999 for this image to go up to the cloud and match with that record. So employee ID, personnel ID, VIP ID, all one and the same, depending on which frame of reference you're looking at from, but that numerical value must match the preceding name of the image that you're referring to. So 199.png and Timmy being personnel ID 1999, this image will be associated with this record. No more than 500 kilobytes in size. This is a large photo, 4,000 pixels by 2,600 pixels. I've seen success with photos as small as 800 pixels tall by about 600 pixels wide. There's really nothing to say that that's a bad size photo. This image example right here is about 700 pixels by about 1,000 pixels tall. The key thing to know if you're doing facial recognition, this is like the end all be all. This is what you must follow. This is, if you don't do this, you're gonna have a bad time with facial recognition. If you are a photographer, if you've done any dabbling with photography, digital photography, old school photography from a 35 millimeter fans out there, you'll know about the rule of thirds. So if you notice, this photo here is divided into 3 segments. So I've got a lower, middle, and a top third. We're not going to worry about left or right now. We're just worried about top to bottom. So in my thirds of a photo, you can see that my lower third is capturing the neck and the chin, a good deal of the mouth and smile. My middle third here is capturing a great deal of the eyes, the nose, the cheekbones. This guy's got some pretty pronounced dimples, and the rest of the mouth and the teeth region here. We don't need to show teeth. It doesn't matter. He does have a bit of a very happy grin going on here. It's up to your users or however they submit a photograph, etc. And then last but not least, this top half, this top third of the photograph is encompassing the last bit of the head. Notice we've got a pretty simple nondescript background. I would advise this nondescript. It doesn't have to be white, but I would not stand in front of a paisley print. I would not stand in front of chevrons or pinstripe wallpaper or anything maybe even sponge painted. If you've got a very nice office environment that you're in, or the individual's taking photographs, you know, in a public space, etc., that would be, I guess, for lack of better words, okay, as long as it's a pretty mute nondescript background. No tilts, no angle, no pitch. Seen a couple examples with what we call glamour shots, where I'm sitting diagonally away from the lens of the camera and I'm turning my body towards the camera and looking over my shoulder. Wonderful picture, looks excellent. Not great for facial recognition. The best onboarding / profile photo you're going to get is going to be one where the individual's eyes are level with the center of the camera lens, whether you're using a webcam, whether you're using a big fancy DSLR camera with expensive lenses and attachments, straight looking forward into the lens. I mentioned about noisy background or other pictures. Yet it's just the best photo that you can feed the algorithm for it to perform its math on, the better outcome you're going to have with facial recognition. That's a big point for a lot of people. And I will say at least 85 to 90% of the time, it's due to the photograph that was uploaded. It just does not meet the suggested requirements or even the minimum requirements for the facial recognition software. Video library, resources, meridiankiosks.com. If you go to the website, and I'll go here with you, go to the website. If you'll give me my tab back, please give me my tab back. Technical difficulties. All right. So if we're here and we're at the website, I want you to see this right here. So you've got, make sure my monitor's, there we go. Okay. You've got the temperature screening kiosk. This is meridiankiosks.com. This is the website. This is nothing special. This is just like you would see it if you logged in at home. Check out the FAQs. This is a great resource. Chances are someone has asked this question. Chances are, if you're getting ready to hook them up in your system and the devices in your facilities, in your office, in your plants, etc., chances are someone has asked a question that you have. I'll give you a pass for today if you ask a question that's up here, because I'm showing you now. So rest assured, don't divert your attention to go and dig this up. But frequently asked questions. This will help you. This will save you time. This will take a lot of stress off you if you're trying to hunt down an answer. If we get busy here on the support side, if our help desk members are swamped, and we get the things as fast as they can in the order they come in level severity, this can save you a lot of time. This can save you from having to open a ticket. If you have a question, if you need to open a ticket, click the help desk button and do so. So FAQs are great. The video libraries are great. You can watch past webinars, or you can check out the resources page. This has a bunch of excellent information. User manual, spec sheets, a copy of the quick start guide, another print copy of the FAQ, instructions, how to take the head unit off, the control diagram for the relay, etc., as well as additional and newer up-to-date videos as found here. Let me go back to my slides. I guess I did not save that tab. Just want to show you guys that. All right, so I'm going to jump back to where I was, because that's a great section. That help section is absolutely excellent. the video resources, the text documents, and the PMK knowledge base that's actually listed under the help desk link. So talking about the software, talking about the portals, who is it, what do they do? So the first portal you've got is the Manage server. This is manage.meridiankiosks.com. 10-15% of your interaction with the devices is probably going to occur here. This is for creating kiosk groups, subscribing to email alerts, adding new kiosks, managing user permissions of what kiosks they can see. Your more administrative, your more technical users probably going to find a better home here. There's a couple reports and features that we won't get into today, but this is step one of starting up your new PMK. The fun side, all the nitty gritty parts of your settings are going to take place on what's called MzeroManage view. That's personnel.meridiankiosks.com. Your dashboard with your security photos, what we call security camera view, as the scans come through, bam, they're going to start popping up on your dashboard. Your graphical user interface entry report takes place right here. Your settings takes place right here. Onboarding your personnel takes place right here. Doing your bulk import takes place right here. This is the portal that you're more than likely going to spend most of your time in. I'm going to show you an example here after that. I just want to talk about onboarding and support packages. Even if you're already a current customer and you haven't really done a lot with the device, or you're about to purchase, or you just purchased, you just paid your invoice, and your license is coming down the pipeline to us. Onboarding packages give you an hour of undivided, unadulterated attention with a member of our onboarding and support team. They'll sit with you and help you get it set up. They'll go through some settings with you. They'll do as much as we can through our remote sessions as possible, answer questions, give you some tips, give you some tricks, be a second set of eyes when it comes to looking over setup and other things. It's an hour of time that doesn't necessarily have to be a problem or a trouble ticket or a support call, but it could just be to support you emotionally as you embark on this endeavor of MzeroManage and setting up your PMK. Or you just say, hey, I got everything set up. Can you take a look for me? Does this look right? What's this setting do? Or how do I do this? Or I got this error when I did an upload. Or hey, can you look at my CSV file and my zip file and tell me if I'm doing something wrong? I want to upload my 100 employees today. That's what onboarding's for. It's get your feet wet, get yourself acclimated to the device before you really start using it. It's kind of like a when the Toys R Us people would set up the bike for you before you took it home instead of you assembling the bike. We just give you a little hands-on walkthrough. And then on that same note, with the onboarding packages, there are additional support packages, and I'm waiting for some finalization on what they feature and their prices before I add them to the presentation for the webinar. I know there were some questions last week about that, and yes, I'm just waiting for some final documents. As soon as I can coordinate with our technical sales and service manager on what those final products will look like. I'll get these up here on here. But essentially, that just gives you everything from a little bit of a speedier response time if you have a trouble ticket, what we call service level agreements, everything to expediting some of the shipping time should you need a RMA, should a guest back into the kiosk and it goes face first into the ground, you'll get an expedited shipping at no additional cost on certain items. So real quick, while you guys gather some questions, I'm going to pop over into the manage side, and I just want to show you guys a couple things. If I can get it to pop up here. All right, let me log in. All right, so let me get logged in here. So ignore some of our, these things catch us off guard all the time. So this is what I was talking about in the dashboard. So I'm actually going to show you guys a real-time scan. I can find my mouse for my unit here. So we have live testing in the lab. We test all the time online to verify the functionality. Actually getting some alerts here because it's picking up my monitor behind me, which is very warm. So I just scanned in, and as you can see here, oh man, I apologize that y'all have to see that ugly face of mine. But so you can see here, I'm actually starting to get alerts on the dashboard right now. I've got a weird chrome skin, so they look kind of funky. But no, as you can see right here, I'm getting my dashboard alerts. I actually got an email alert just now telling me that, hey, you scanned in and you were very warm, etc. So those instantaneous alerts within me sitting down and scanning at the chair, all three of those events came through. So I can click on the scan. I can see right here, oh my gosh, Joshua failed. He's 100.4. He's got an elevated temperature. I need to go find him and go sit him down and tell him, you know, hey, bud, you're a little warm. I need you to stop. Same thing with the settings. The settings page, being able to push out settings and change things in real time. One thing I didn't mention was the kiosk. So being able to go through here and check your kiosk. So I can see I had an alert. Oh no. Okay, goodness. They exceeded the threshold at this time. So I can know to check my dashboard, or I can know to check my entry report and see where that failure occurred. So I can see right here, I failed. Okay, that's not good. And the timestamp in which I failed on entry report. Personnel, I got some testing accounts. So I can't go in there because I don't want to accidentally share information that isn't myself or one of my members of my team on this. But once I can clear out some of the testing in my database, I'll be able to show you guys some more information. I think 2 webinars ago, I went through and showed you the personnel, but take my word for it. You click a button, you type things in, you attach a photo, you click a check mark, and you're good to go. Same thing with uploading the CSV files. We've got the CSV file here. We've got the images file here. You would attach, upload, and then from there, you would actually start to import your photos of your employees. So we're going to jump back into questions. I'm going to stop talking and see what questions we've got. All right, so far no questions just yet. Oh, there we go. Can you, okay, Chad's asking, can you capture photos on first temp scan? Chad, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you referring to the pictures on the dashboard to use those as a like a guest photo, to use those to onboard? I'll give you a second to clarify. Is this HIPAA compliant? There are some documentations that outline that. As far as HIPAA compliance, there are things we can do to hide information on the device, such as turning off anything that might be considered potential personal health information. I don't know what documents off the top of my head. Donna, if you are curious, you can reach out to a member of our sales team. If you're working with a reseller, they might have that documentation and answer. That's a great question, though. I will make sure I get a answer for, or I get some documentation so I can answer that. I'm more of a technical guy on the software side of things, so that's I hate to let you down on that one, Donna. Let's see. I want to be able to ask screening questions as well as take temperatures. Can the system do that? Currently, it cannot. There are roadmaps out there for post question or post scanning questionnaire. There are a few third-party integrations that we are working with. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to your sales team. I believe it's Clear2. It's the word clear, C-L-E-A-R, and then the number 2, the numeral, not spelled out, all one word. Look into Clear2. We do have integration and support for that through their application, where you would scan in and then scan a QR code and then do a self-assessment. So one more time for the people in the back, Clear2. Can you enroll users at the kiosk on their first scan? Let's see, is it Chad? You can enter them directly to the device face database. We're still waiting on an application update to come out. It's just got to pass QA testing. As soon as it does, you will actually be able to get two-way synchronicity of onboarding on the device and adding records to the cloud. So right now, if you add a user to the database locally and then scan them, they'll stay on the database locally. They will not push up to the cloud. However, their scans and their information will push to the cloud. There's nothing stopping you from doing the old right click, save image as on that photo and enrolling them. However, I will say due to compression during transit, it might not be, by the time it makes it to the cloud, it might not be the resolution and quality that you're looking for. We do recommend anything from a webcam, like I said, a more professional camera. Now, by all means, don't go out, rush out and get online or go to Best Buy or whatever and purchase a big fancy camera and say Josh told you to do it. But no, the better the image quality, the better the resolution or better the outcome of the scan. A little better photo, more cropped it is, the better it is, or the more accurate the recognition and the faster the recognition will be, I should say. All right, I'll give it a few more seconds here, see if we have any questions roll in. All right, we got one more. How many settings can we edit of the kiosk from MzeroManage? So the major settings that you can change would be the company name. You can change, I'm just going off the top of my head here. You can change the compensation, the manual compensation. You can turn on stranger record, stranger mode, entry mode. You can change the settings on the dry contact relay. You can change the settings for the RS-232 serial bus. You can change the settings for the Wigand adapter. You can change some of the auto power settings, the volume of the device, the auto relaunch of the app should the application crash, or should, like I said, should there be an event with the operating system or power outage. Off the top of my head, those are the ones I can think of, the big noticeable ones. The company name, doing a company logo, let's see. Recording the values of the temperature, let's see. Saving the device records locally. Those are all settings that you can change from the MzeroManage cloud. There's a few more in there. There's a few more that are kind of redundant, but for the most part, as far as the end user is concerned, the big setting changes do take place. You are able to enact those setting changes from the website. All right, I'm gonna give it another couple seconds. All right, guys. Well, I haven't had any fresh questions come through. Again, if this is your first time, feel free to join us again next week. I'm going to try and get some more demos and have a little, possibly some more information about these support and service packages, the extended additional offerings of those. But like I said, next week we'll be back, same time, same place, same channel. And if you have any questions or if there's anything in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out to us here, either info@mzero.com. If you have established a relationship with a reseller or a sales executive here directly through Meridian, please reach out to them for any additional questions. If it's something that they can't answer, they will make sure they find someone that can, for sure, for sure. So without further ado, this is Josh, MzeroManage Software Support Engineer, and On behalf of Meridian Kiosks, in regards to our personnel management kiosk, I thank each and every one of you for joining us today. And the train's coming by, so I'll take that as my cue to get off before they blow the horn. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and if you need anything, info@mzero.com. Or if you've already talked to me, shoot me an email. If you have not, info@mzero.com. It'll find its way down the line. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday. Pleasure talking with each and every one of you. Glad to answer your questions. So glad you were able to join us. Y'all have a good one and stay safe out there.